Abyss has been out for a few months, and teams have a lot of different takes on how to play the map. Let's break down how LEVIATAN found success with their unique team comp and retake focused defense. We'll see what each of them do for the team, and what it all looks like together. Jett wants to look for quick fights and dash out. It's not much different from running Jett on any other map. Opping is really strong on Abyss, and we see Ospas mostly hold from these spots. This B Heaven angle is good because he can't be seen from Nest while he's holding for the swing out of B main. Another option is to take mid control from either side. He can also hold A main from here as well. Sova is the A player for Lev's defense. Calm is often jiggling the A main line from the beginning of the round and sometimes shocks when barriers drop. If he gets pressured out of main, Dart and Drone can clear it out. Against A rushes, Calm focuses on Heaven control. Heaven is the closest place to fall back to from main, and the rest of Lev can go through CT. Sova Util can get good value from Heaven. He can shock main or default. Darts can go to these spots to ping attackers as they enter site, and the drone can clear most of the site as soon as it comes out. On the B retakes, Calm usually goes Heaven. Drone can see all of this when it comes out. Dart usually goes on this pillar, scanning out the right side of site and forcing attackers to either break it or swing out. Cypher is usually on B, and Tex has a ton of different setups. His cams are usually on the top right of site, aggressively placed on this pillar for early info, or defensively placed for the retake. The trips can be B or mid. These B trips slow down the hit and set up kills, and this mid trip watches for lurks. It's on the B side of mid because the jump from Cat would be heard. The cages tend to go here and lets Love cross through backside. Tex is always willing to look for his 1 on execs since his util isn't that helpful on retakes. He's either playing site with someone else Heaven, or solo playing off-site. Harbor is normally the second B player. Mazzino has this high tide that blocks off B main and Nest, which threatens a defender crossing behind the box. If attackers take main quickly, then Mazzino likes to throw this high tide that blocks off main and danger. This is also the wall used for retakes to split attackers from helping site. On the A retakes, Mazzino's walls make holding site incredibly difficult. It splits up defenders into 3 smaller areas, making it easier for Lev to find good fights. The harbor walls are already annoying, but with Omen, attackers can feel like they're always smoked off. King likes to play mid since his TPs help him get out from util dumps. King's smokes can reach A and B from mid as well. For A, there's this one way and this standard smoke. On A retakes, the smoke on bridge with this blind helps Lev flood in from CT. For B, King likes this nest smoke. It can be thrown early into the round, so B players can focus on B main. It's also good later for the retake. This mid-site smoke is great for slowing down a B rush and lets the B player run back to CT. The smoke can be comboed with this blind to retake backside too. Let's watch Lev's game plan in action. Lev starts the round with Tex and Mazzino B, King mid, and Ospas and Calm A.
Maybe just trying to spot out type of aggression.
Concealment.
So they clear the door out at the very beginning of the round.
Oh, G2, they gotta be very careful. Every time they put this Astra smoke up, King has just spammed it.
They take B main control with the Omen smoke and high tide. Calm is jiggling A, and King spams Leaf through the Astra smoke.
It's a bit of a hard read into how G2 like to approach when that smoke goes up. I'd like to see a bit of a change, maybe a pickup, try to punish King in that moment. Make him play a little bit more passive, second guess himself from holding it. Man, the cams that Tex has, I mean, he's been cooking.
Yeah, that's another crazy one.
It's the power of Cypher versus Killjoy. On a map with such long sight lines, he's able to see when the hit will actually come a lot sooner than later. That being said, it's not going to matter in this round because it's a full A commit.
They smoked out Heaven, but Calm's ahead of it already.
Since Lev doesn't see anyone outside A, they suspect that G2 can be towards B and re-smoke Nest. G2 cut noise and pop A with the Yoru ult. Calm gives up the site and falls back to Heaven. King smokes A main and holds for a mid lurk. Calm darts from heaven, looking for a spam, and shocks off the tap, hoping for some chip damage.
At least I thought he was going to fully take the space, but he doesn't commit to it. I guess waiting for his teammates on the other side. King does have a paranoia. This is danger. There's the paranoia.
Great paranoia.
It's only 1 for 1, though. How much more can they find? Trent down low. Into the face of...
Now, Lev are grouped behind the heaven smoke, watching mid and CT, and ready for the retake. Lev pushes heaven with a cascade, paranoia, and smoke dash. They trade 1 for 1, and Lev takes back heaven. Mazzino high tides A, which completely splits up G2. Valen is flank watching and can't help because of the cascade. Icy is back sight and can't see heaven, so Trent is forced to fight by himself. He gets double swung and trades 1.
2 up over the top. Gives up on the first, connects on the second. Icy and Valen left alone to try to make a stand in this round, to try to keep them back in the face of 3.
He has 1 flash.
And there it is, invested, the spam coming through. Now he's on his own. Oh, he repositioned so beautifully, but
Tex ults Trent's body and sees Valen A main and Icy back sight. King smokes the bomb and Lev fights Valen first. Icy's too far to help and eventually gets cleaned up by Ospas. In the beginning of the round, Lev takes B control with a wall and smoke and gets A info from Calm jiggling. When G2 go for their A exec, Calm gives up sight and keeps having control. The rest of Lev are watching for a mid or CT push. They take back heaven first, the high tide comes out to split the site, and Lev moves as a group to finish off the rest of G2. We'll start in the middle of the round after EDG made presence on both A and B.
They're just trying to replace the Sentinel with the additional smoke. Take information away to try to get the advantage there, but Ospas dead right before he drops down off the top of the box. Gets a little bit of damage across, but not too much to be found there as Fragment. Calm not going to be caught. Spam, however, not quite in line, but as he readjusts.
Ospas is solo A on top site, ready to fight and dash, but he gets KO ulted and dies. EDG run on site, and Calm's able to spam 1 from heaven.
Final couple bullets ring out, and nobody will be taken down. 4v4 for the retake as Lev try to establish a further lead here. See what the post plant looks like here for the side of EDG. Shotgun flying through. Tiny amount.
The retake starts with Cascade in front of the bomb and Dart clearing front site. Lev smoke and shock A main after. Tech swings back site with Paranoia. Mazzino sends the high tide A main and even blocks off the platform angle. This gives Lev all of sight, and Mazzino is free to cove the bomb and threaten the defuse.
Damage here onto Smoggy. Widely untouched. Quick tap in. Some wild spray across. Kong willing to maybe give his life, but it's actually going to be Simon who ends up falling. Paranoia now going to be sent out. There's the Harbor. Ultimate coming into play. 2 players left standing. Stun. Getting ready to connect here on the G2 Smoggy. Tries to hold them back. They're just being pushed and prodded at every single twist and turn. Defuse to be held.
Mazzino's spray catches 1 and he gets his ult. A second Omen smoke comes out for a one-way which splits EDG's hold. Even in the 4v5, Lev's game plan stays the same. We can see how quickly Lev was able to reclaim site control with the front site dart comboed with the wall that blocked off EDG's vision from A main. The cove forces EDG to fight, but this one way allows Lev to isolate the fight. Let's move on to the B retakes.
And Cypher utility and a Harbor, or these 2 kids popping off?
Remember, we mentioned too at the beginning of the series, it's a supporting staff that when they struggle, Lev does. But they're the ones that are putting up a ridiculous performance.
And when they do,
Mazzino sends the high tide through B main and nest, which threatens the cross. Ospas is posted up heaven with the op, holding the B main push. On A, Calm darts deep and sees nothing, which makes King leave.
it's just a wash.
Naspas has his op. There are 4 waiting on the other side. The smoke comes through. The P comes out.
It's a leg shot.
Enough to buy some time. Tex with 10 HP, continuing to fight.
What a risky play from Tex. The confidence is brewing for Leviathan right now.
For good reason.
Getting away with murder.
G2 have been successful up until this point before.
The orb and smokes start G2's B exec. Ospas swings, legs Yoru, and dashes back to heaven. At the same time, Tex pops his cages and swings out. These cages isolate this headshot angle, and it's pretty unlikely for anyone on G2 to dry swing through the cages. He He gets his one and falls back. Mizzino runs to Link and sends the Cascade to block off B main. Tex checks his cam and doesn't spot anyone on site, so Lev know all of G2 are in this area.
Gotten into post-plane situations, but they lose the plot at this point. They've been here. They've got to find a way to find success here. Lockdown dealt with. Now they're going to have to deal with all of these deep walls. What's the second layer? Is there a second layer? It's off the tap. 2 kills already found.
And the cast, yeah.
And now they have the code. They can play around. Mazzino's going to get spammed as he tried to get aggressive. But it still hasn't, I mean, it hasn't gotten half yet. Trent still has a shot at this, but how do you deal with the targets? How do you deal with hotspots? How do you deal with Calm?
Yeah. It's a close one, but...
King knows Ospas is holding from heaven, so he smokes off the left side, paranoias the pillar, and tries to get one. Unfortunately, Ospas had to break a drone, and Astra avoided the blind. This puts Lev in a 4v4 retake. Calm's ult breaks the KJ ult, and Lev push forward. Mazzino runs up danger side, and walls off the right side. This starts the fight, and Astra is killed in the open. Calm's shock finds one behind the pillar. KJ is too far to help, and Sova is completely walled off. Ospas is able to isolate the fights and win the round.
Now they have the Euro ult they're going to have to deal with too.
It is being used very early on in mid, though. A lot of space and info gathered, but it's tough in this moment. Icy, he's left to his own devices. Yeah, he has some Astra smokes to cover him.
Yeah, but he's sticking it. I mean, he had a gate crash out. He's in a really nice spot here. Oh, there was just the tiniest of pixels, but I don't think he saw it.
He needs to get out of here. Get out of here.
In this round, G2 Euro ults and Lev respawn by darting A main. This doesn't catch anyone, so Calm jiggles A main, and the rest of Lev prep a B retake. King smokes off Nest in mid site, Tex gets into the heaven smoke, Ospas holds mid, and King and Mazzino hold the CT smoke.
Quickly, the Stinger can be so deadly. It's a bit of a half-blood from Leviathan, at least clearing close spawn.
They've left Trent by himself. Is this a tough spot to be in? But instead of committing to getting the plant down, he swings out, gets a kill onto Tex. Still spamming, still trying to fight, still trying to establish control on the site. Meanwhile, a great response from Calm.
As the Astra smoke drops, King paranoias backside and swings with Mazzino and Ospas. Tex walks out heaven and gets caught. Mazzino throws this high tide to split up G2, which stops the plant. This even forces Valen to jump back over to hold for Trent's plant. King re-smokes mid-site, which threatens Lev's cross. This buys time for Calm to look for a lurker. He finds Leaf mid, picks up his Vandal, and starts to flank.
And that's an upgrade for him as well. He does a deep dart. He's able to get a rifle, and now if he wants to, he can apply pressure on the flank.
But time is of the essence. He's got to go.
He's going for it.
Icy seems aware of the fact that there could be someone on the prowl, and he would be correct. Trent spotting an elbow. Again, this is all just buying time, but time really goes the way of G2 here.
Calm is all the way behind. He hears Icy running around. He's going to get a free kill, maybe.
But again, the spike has been going on for so long. I mean, at best, what, they contain him here? Or they just frag him through. They're just going to mow him over.
Mazzino cascades, which creates really short angles that favor Lev. Calm's flank is coming in, and Lev are ready to crunch. Mazzino spots Sova by himself on the bomb, and King smokes him, which allows Mazzino to walk up and stop Sova from being able to help. Calm hears someone checking mid and gets the pick. Off the flank, Ospas swings and catches Astra looking away. Calm kills Viper, and Sova is cleaned up after. Lev is able to stall the plant, which gives Calm time to work mid and gets a flanking. They inch through CT and put pressure on G2 while looking for close range fights. In the end, they're able to collapse onto the remaining members of G2 to close out the round. We can see Lev avoid fighting while getting info on where the attackers could stack. During A hits, they're willing to give up space until these points. The A anchor holds heaven and lets the team flood in through spawn and mid. It's the same on B, where the B anchor holds link and lets the A players go through heaven. They cut up sites with walls and smokes to retake control as a group so they can pressure attackers into a corner and secure the round.